If I were to ask you what first comes to mind when I say Nebraska, you'd probably say, well, corn. But the second thing would likely be football. Nebraska is home to one of the most die-hard loyal fan bases in all of college football. The sheer amount of people who watch and attend Cornhusker football games is staggering considering the state's rather small population. In fact, whenever there's a Husker home game, their stadium becomes the third most populous city in the entire state. The capacity is listed at 85,000, but Husker fans are known to fairly frequently pack over 90,000 into the seats. People in Nebraska care about college football at an abnormal rate. According to this map posted by the New York Times in 2014, Nebraska ranks second among states in terms of fan ratios, only ranking slightly behind Alabama, for obvious reasons. This undying passion and support through thick and thin is what makes Nebraska such a special place for college football, and is also what makes the topic of this video even more devastating. This is the story of the 2021 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska entered 2021 with copious amounts of unbridled hope, as they always seem to do when August rolls around. Scott Frost was entering his fourth season with the team, and his seat was definitely warming up. Frost was hired at Nebraska after turning an 0-12 UCF team into a 13-0 team in just the span of 2 years. The drastic turnaround not only landed him nationwide attention and support, but also his dream job of coaching his alma mater. As of 2021, though, his skill of turning around programs is slowly being called into question. The Cornhuskers posted a 12-20 overall record with 0 bowl appearances in his first 3 seasons at the helm. Comparatively, their last head coach Mike Riley posted a 19-19 record with 2 bowl appearances before being fired upon the conclusion of his 3rd season. Adrian Martinez, the Husker QB, is also entering his 4th season with the program. He's coming off a relatively productive 2020 season where he led the Big Ten in completion percentage. His ability to create opportunities with his legs is a large reason why he's had and kept the starting job since his freshman year though, and this could be the year he finally breaks onto the national stage. This, combined with newfound talent like FCS transfer and future 7th round pick wide receiver Samari Toure, makes it very possible that the Big Red could finally find their footing this year. Husker fans are anxious for the turnaround, and it has to be this season. Speaking of Husker fans, there's one right over here. Meet Eric. He's a lifelong Husker fan that's still living in 2021 and has called upon us time travelers to tell him how the upcoming season will be for his favorite team. Let's give Eric the great news. Over the season, Nebraska outscored its opponents by 63 total points. He looks overjoyed. That means it's gotta be much better than last season, where they went 3-5 and were overall outscored by 50 points. It also has potential to be better than their 2016 season, where they went 9-4 and outscored opponents by just 34 total points. In fact, the Cornhuskers haven't seen a season with that positive of a point differential since 2015, which is the last time they won a bowl game. Now we tell him that Adrian Martinez posted career highs in both passing yards and rushing touchdowns this season. Eric isn't just thinking bowl game anymore, he's thinking conference championship. Let's give him one more fact to hype him up just a little bit more. Nebraska's 2021 season will go down as one of the most unbelievable and extraordinary seasons in college football history. Eric, in a state of euphoria, grabs his phone and swiftly bets his life savings on Nebraska to win the college football playoff. Eric, quit making a fool of yourself. I haven't even told you what their final record was. He's jittering with excitement. Is he about to tell me we went 10-2? 11-1? Undefeated even? The Nebraska Cornhuskers football team went 3-9 in 2021. Bye, Eric. Good luck with that gambling debt. Yes, it's true. Nebraska went 3-9 with a positive point differential. They blew out the terrible teams and lost every other game by razor-thin margins. And when I say razor-thin, I really mean it. Nebraska had a grand total of 1 loss out of 9 that came by greater than 1 score. Can you guess how much they lost by? It was 9 points to number 5 Ohio State. The Buckeyes weren't the only ranked team Nebraska played close. Out of every FBS team, Nebraska had the 6th hardest strength of schedule in 2021. Their resume of ranked opponents included number 3 Oklahoma, number 5 Ohio State, number 9 Michigan, number 15 Wisconsin, number 16 Iowa, and number 20 Michigan State. The Huskers lost all of these games by an average margin of just 6 points. My reason for bringing all of this up is because I truly believe 2021 Nebraska was the best, worst college football team of all time, and the numbers back up my belief. ESPN's Football Power Index is an advanced stat that measures the overall strength of a team. It takes into account strength of schedule and expected points when ranking teams. Out of everyone in the FBS, 3-9 Nebraska ranked 29th in FPI. Nobody else in the top 50 had less than 5 losses. The Huskers ranked above their rivals, the 10-4 Iowa Hawkeyes, and also the 10-4 Oregon Ducks, along with all these other teams. To find another team that didn't qualify for a bowl game, you have to scroll all the way to 51st ranked Florida State, who missed bowl qualification by just 1 win. To find another 3-9 team, you must go even further down to 82nd ranked Georgia Tech. The College Football Analytics newsletter actually covered this topic in 2022, calling Nebraska's 2021 campaign a, quote, historical tragedy. This article honed in on another advanced statistic engineered by collegefootballdata.com called post-game win expectancy. This statistic measures the win expectancy if the game were to be played again with each team attaining the same stats. To put it in different words, it basically tells you who would win more if you took all the plays that happened and shuffled them in a random order. When considering post-game win expectancy, it tells us that the Huskers outplayed their opponents in 9 out of 12 games, which would have mirrored their actual record of 3-9. With these numbers, CFB numbers re-simulated the season 5,000 times. Only 2 out of the 5,000 simulations had Nebraska going 3-9. In fact, the numbers suggest it was roughly 13 times more likely for them to have gone 11-1. This is completely unprecedented. If you want to learn more about how Adrian Martinez ties into this and see a full list of the worst wins over expected seasons in history, be sure to check out the amazing full article. I've linked it in the description. All of these statistics paint Nebraska as an unlucky team, a team that's talented and well prepared on paper, but just never has the ball bounce their way. I partially agree with this sentiment and near fully agree if you're talking purely about talent. To me though, there's a glaring rotten eyesore that contributed to the most tragic season in college football history. As a preface to this section of the video, you will probably be able to tell that I am not a huge fan of Scott Frost. If you like him or think he was misunderstood or a good coach in a bad situation, I understand, but just know you probably won't align with this section. Scott Frost came to Nebraska as a no-brainer hire. The Huskers were a struggling program looking for new management, and Frost had just finished one of the quickest and most successful college football rebuilds of all time. He also came in familiar with the program because he played for Nebraska in the 90s under legendary coach Tom Osborne. In short, Nebraska wanted him bad, and he gleefully accepted the university's 7-year, $35 million contract offer in 2017. If that doesn't express confidence, I'm not sure what does. Frost actually started his tenure by setting a new school record. In Nebraska's near 130-year history, the team never started with an 0-6 record. Frost changed that in 2018, starting 0-6 before picking up his first win almost 2 months into the season against Minnesota. That's a pretty rough start, but he's here for a rebuild, not immediate success. The problem is, it never got better for Frost. He just kept losing, and at a certain point his leadership skills started being called into question. Nebraska had problems with good players transferring out immediately after successful seasons with the team. A big one that stands out to me is J.D. Spielman, who transferred to TCU in 2020 after posting 3 straight 800-yard seasons, the first Husker wide receiver ever to do so. Wan'Dale Robinson was another important piece of the roster that was lost in 2021 to Kentucky, where he set single-season school records for receptions and yards in his senior season before being drafted to the Giants. You could simply chalk this up to the losing seasons, but I believe Scott Frost's poor leadership played a large role. Frost became wrapped up in some controversy when he shared that he would work linemen so hard that they were vomiting, quote, 15 to 20 times every practice. He also told the Omaha World Herald, quote, "I think they love it," in reference to all the work that was causing constant vomiting. Not exactly shining stuff for a head coach in the modern day. It was these types of comments that began to build Frost a reputation for being arrogant without the success to back it up. When Joe Burrow was deciding where to transfer from Ohio State, he was looking at Nebraska and showed some serious interest in joining the program. Frost decided to not only not offer him a scholarship, but also take an arrogant and backhanded jab at him by asking a reporter if, quote, "You think he's better than what we got?" Burrow ended up transferring to LSU and had one of the most successful college seasons we've ever seen from a quarterback, winning the national championship in the process. While Joe Burrow succeeded in the NFL, Scott Frost was fired post one of the worst losses in Nebraska program history to Georgia Southern. The Husker athletic director decided in that moment it would be better for the program to fire Frost immediately, buying out his contract for $15 million. If they would have waited just 2 more weeks to fire him, they would have saved $7 million of that buyout. That's how badly everyone in Nebraska wanted him gone. A combination of this arrogance, bad leadership, and bad luck are, in my opinion, a good part of the reason that even when he put together what was objectively a good team in 2021, it still didn't earn him any success. This is what brings me to my main takeaway from this video. A tragedy, in the Shakespearean definition, is defined as a play, or in our case, a real story, dealing with tragic events and having an unhappy ending, especially one concerning the downfall of the main character. Scott Frost's tenure at Nebraska had an unhappy ending. It was full of torment and distress for the loyal Husker faithful. And when our main character finally fell, the program reached lows never touched before. But sometimes the main character is the problem, and his downfall is vital to see any future growth. Nebraska is in a new era. They've now got a coach who knows how to build a college football program and a quarterback that has the potential to be better than the likes of any other in school history. When I talk about something sad pertaining to a group of fans, I think it's only right to end the narrative by instilling a sense of hope in the affected. For the Huskers, they're doing all the work for me. Their current 3-1 record speaks for itself, and being able to witness firsthand the catharsis that came with pummeling Colorado makes me confident I don't need to construct any sort of narrative to give Husker fans hope. Don't listen to anyone. Don't even listen to me. Just look and take in what's happening in front of your eyes.